Hello, and welcome to my presentation of my Pixton comic strips. We're discussing two learning theories today. It'll be Piaget's theory of cognitive development, and we'll also be covering Vygotsky's theory of the zone of proximal development. So the first one that I want to look at is a child's mind. So wait for that to come up. And this one's only 4 windows, or 4 strips. And so here I demonstrate a child's ability to, or a child's mind developing slowly. So the 4 stages, right? The 4 stages of cognitive development. You have the first stage is sensory motor, where they learn about object permanence. So I have a baby there looking at the ball and seeing that the ball is there, even when the ball disappears or isn't there. The second stage is peri-operational, when a child learns what objects are, what they mean. So in this case, the child would associate a ball as fun, and they say soccer is fun. And of course, I put a bit of a transition into the next slide by having a parent saying, "Jimmy, no soccer in the house." The next slide shows Jimmy thinking about maybe I shouldn't play in the house, so he's starting to develop rational thought. In the next strip, we have the formal operational stage, where he's actually able to manipulate his own ideas, and I show this by him saying I should find a team to play with. And so there's him coming up with his own idea there of creating a team. Continuing on with Piaget's schemas, right? And so a schema is basically, to bring an example from the text, it's like an index card, right? That's filed away. It's like it's a learned response to a certain stimulus, right? So if you see something, like I think that the example in textbook was a clown. If a child sees a man that has hair like a clown, he will associate it as a clown, but that's not always the case, right? So in this one, fitting into the schema of things, here I put the schemas introduced. So this man is telling James, "Look, James, that's a Labrador." So intern James says, "Look, that husky is a Labrador." And so he's trying to assimilate the schema into other things, into other dogs. And of course the man says, "Actually, that is not a husky, right? That is not a lab, that's a husky. Not all dogs are labs." And so here the schema is accommodated to fit the schema is changed to fit the situation. So obviously that's not a lab, that's a husky, so the child learns that not all dogs are labs. And so now for the future, he won't be calling just any dog a Labrador. Next up is the zone of proximal development. So here I show the zone a bit. And this theory is by Vygotsky. And it's basically defined as the distance between a developmental level, which is determined by self-problem solving, and the level of potential development where the child solves a problem with the help of an adult, right? So the zone that is called is proximal development. So here I show a picture of a student missing the basketball hoop and saying, "Oh no!" So the student has the ability to shoot, but they're not. The potential is shown, right? And so here, the teacher shows her like, "Hey, look, shoot like this." So she changes her form, and voila, she's able to shoot a perfect hoop. And so I show that the teacher, he does scaffolding here. He shows her how to shoot, and therefore she learns from the MKO, right, the more knowledgeable other, and she's able to move through the zone of proximal development with his help. And so the final strip is very short and just showing the two teaching methods that come with proximal development. So this comes from as a part of knowledge of social interaction, right? And so knowledge through social interaction is basically knowledge gained either through others, through your peers, right? Just how you interact with them, maybe you sharing your bit of knowledge and them correcting that bit of knowledge, right? And so here I show a teacher doing reciprocal teaching. He tells them to summarize the Stamp Act. And they all chime in. It started the American Revolution, right? And so, excuse me. And so that is just his method of teaching, which could work. And the social interaction happening here is the teacher is asking something of them, and they respond with a learned fact. Excuse me. The next one is collaborative teaching, right? So teacher tells them to group up together, work on something, and they say, okay. And so they all work together. Excuse me. And so this develops collaborative learning, right? And so all the students, they have different knowledge, they have different skills, and so they teach each other. One student may not be as advanced as another, and so the advanced student works to bring that student up to par. That's collaborative learning. And that is all we went over. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.